in a world divided by data and conflict. Welcome to Pixels to Politics, Season 3.
Welcome, everybody, to an episode of Pixels Politics. I'm your host, Dougie, and this is episode 100 of Season 3. It's kind of crazy that I got monetized on YouTube on exactly episode 100. It's kind of cool. I like that. Thanks again to you guys. Thanks again. You guys are great. And today, we will be talking about kind of a sprinkle of things, but we're going to start with this mysterious, maybe serial killer, although at this point I think it would be considered a mass murderer on the South Korean island of Jeju or Jeju, I don't know. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Then you'll follow up with the GTA6 leaks, which I don't even know if I'll be able to show on stream or the video here, but we'll see. And then some slight updates on what we covered yesterday, considering how important, of course, that news was. But I hope you had a great Monday. Hope you had a great Tuesday. And let's get started. So, Jeju, or Jeju, of South Korea. I've been watching this story for a little bit, trying to see if it was going anywhere. But basically, there were a lot of people reported missing on the island. 300 within, I think, about a year or something. And quite a few within just this month of August. And then I saw something to do with a police officer being involved. And a police officer has been arrested. They've fired a bunch of people. And furthermore, they've just said that this guy was probably just lazy. So, all right, let's get a little more into the details. There is a safety alert in Jeju Island, South Korea. 15 people are confirmed missing, with 4 bodies found so far. The South Korean police are receiving a lot of backlash for their mishandling of the latest case. Theories are pointing to a possible serial killer. Somebody here has mapped out all of the different missing reports plus the dead bodies. And I mean, you can see a lot. It's all over. It's spread out throughout the entire island. It's not localized. There's a lot of theories here as to what's going on. So basically, a family member would go missing. And then, of course, the family or loved ones would give a call and be like, hey, we don't know where our loved one went. And this guy, the officer, I think there's a name. I'll have to see if I can find it. He would just say, okay, I'll look into it. And then he would call them back and say, oh, yeah, they're just fine. They just don't want to talk to you right now. And after, of course, a few more weeks, the people would call back again. They would call somebody else and be like, listen, this doesn't make any sense. So this happened like 3 times within a span of like 2 weeks before some higher ups got involved. And they found the bodies, of course. And they were like, well, what the fuck? Like, where are you declaring these people alive when they're dead? And apparently this guy has handled almost 300 cases that he has ruled, as fine. He shuts them down. Not only has he shut them down, but he's gone in and he's deleted the information. He's deleted the people's reports. And so they don't know. The official narrative is that this guy is actually just lazy. He's just really lazy, and he doesn't want to do any real work. He has a stalking charge, I think, against him. And so it's gone up the ladder. And even the people further up are just like, yeah, we're only really looking into a few cases connected to this guy. It's like 3 of them, even though he has closed 300. So, obviously, it's a little tougher for me to crack open some conspiracies when it's not in my native tongue and not in my, my local area. but I'm doing the digging. A Jeju police officer was arrested today for deliberately shutting down missing person cases. Not one or two, but roughly 298. He told families their loved ones were safe, then quietly deleted the cases from the missing persons systems. So the rumor is that he's working with somebody. That's what they think. They think he's working with somebody, that there's a serial killer loose and is just racking up bodies, and that he's covering for them. He's an accomplice. The case cracked open because of Jang Mi Ran's disappearance, which turned out to expose a far larger cover-up. Jang Mi Ran, 37, went missing on May 12th. Her boyfriend reported it, and the officer assigned to the case told him he'd reached her, that she was safe, and that she didn't want her location shared. Then closed the file that same night. It later emerged that there was no record police had ever actually contacted her, of course. Once the officer was identified and implicated, investigators went back through his past cases between August 22nd and 24th. They found 4 bodies of people who had been reported missing. Zhang Mi ran among them, found 104 days after she disappeared. Just a few minutes walk from where she'd been staying. The other 3 were men, 2 in their 60s and 1 in his 70s. Since prosecutors' authority to conduct a supplementary investigation was abolished, public anxiety has been mounting over a single officer could kill hundreds of cases with almost no way for anyone to catch it. And there's a little video here of the family confronting the officer. Reporter, would you like to say a word to the families of the victims? Victim's family. Hey, say something. And it looks like they push him there. Move, you idiot. Did you falsely close the case because you were too lazy, right? So the current narrative is that this guy was actually just super lazy. But, I mean, 300 bodies in 2 years on this small island. I don't know. Why did you falsely close the case? Please say something to the victims' families. The body's been found. Please say a word. Apologize. Are you sorry? Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a larger conspiracy here. Another dead body of a missing person has been found in Jeju, making it the 4th finding in just 3 days after the revelation of a rogue police officer who falsified 200 missing person cases during 17 months while working on the island. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know. 200, again, in 17 months. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. He's got to be working with somebody. But let's just say he just wasn't doing his job. And all of a sudden, of course, the new police coming in are doing their job. And they're just like going through these reports and finding all these dead bodies. Most of the bodies they're finding are heavily decomposed. And it's just been a fucking ruckus, you know? But somebody's got to be killing these people. For those planning a vacation to Korea, especially Jeju, please read this. So in Jeju, it turns out there are a ton of missing person cases and murder cases, but the news gets hidden. Next thing you know, they find the body. Yeah, it's a lot of bodies being found. And this is real recent, guys. This is as of basically yesterday and maybe like 4 days ago. This middle-aged lady forbade original poster from walking home and insisted original poster just ride in the car instead. So it sounds like even the natives to the island are pretty aware of what's going on. And are warning the people. Since it felt awkward to refuse, Op ended up hitchhiking a ride in the restaurant owner's car. During the drive, the owner told him that in that area, tons of people have gone missing. Like, seriously, a huge number of missing people. But the news gets covered up. The restaurant owner also let them know that everyone who goes missing is definitely a tourist. Oh, shit, I didn't know that. Because you can tell they're tourists from a mile away. So they get deliberately targeted. Wow. No shit, guys. Yeah. So this 4th missing person was found within 24 hours of this broadcast. Who knows? I think he's in on it. I think he's definitely in on it. There's just no way. It's a lot of people. Maybe, I think this is the person. So they have footage of her here. and maybe someone following her.
지난 5월 실종된
I don't speak whatever the, I guess it was Korean, but it didn't sound Korean. Kind of sounded Chinese to me. Sorry, I don't know, to be insulting. I just don't know the difference. So, I mean, again, maybe it's just been building up. Here's the young woman who was killed. Oh, it's odd. Obviously, it's got to be a serial killer. It seems like they're targeting vulnerable people. Most of them are older, but they're just finding bodies everywhere. They're just finding bodies everywhere. The police officer, A, who is suspected of falsely closing the case of missing person in Jeju, is arrested. He previously closed the case internally within 2 hours after receiving an initial report of Jang Moran's disappearance in May and put death in traffic accidents as the cause. Like, what? Jang Moran's body was found inside a palm tree farm in Jeju just yesterday, guys. She was reported missing on May. A also covered up another missing person report of a man in 60s early last month using the same method. The family of the man revisited police station again after Jang's case was reported in the media. Then the man's body was discovered the following day. A full investigation into all 300 missing person cases, which closed by A during his 1 years and 5 months of service, will be done soon. So I may have jumped the gun too early, but I'll keep following the story. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I have no doubt in my mind this will probably turn into something a little more. So even this guy here, this is a video of a YouTuber who almost got murdered. Is it in English?
라디오 같은 데 나가도 진짜
It's not in English. Today I'm going to talk about a 100% true story
제가 제주도
about how I almost got murdered on Jeju Island. I'm going to talk about that story in a serious way. I've never really told this story on TV or radio because I was afraid someone might see it and come back to me. But now some time has passed, and I'm going to tell you all about it. That was in 2021. Okay, so this is pretty old compared to what people are talking about now. I was in a situation where I had to go solo after being in a group. It was inevitable that I would go solo, so I'm going to write my own song. Probably some translation. Since it's my first song, I really want to make it good, so I decided to go to Jeju Island, get inspired, and write a song there. Talk about going to a quiet place, the guest house, makes a reservation, goes to the island, goes out after sunset. He's looking around for restaurants, and then you got to go watch the full video, which I'm not interested in. So, yeah, some spooky things going on Jeju Island. It's gotta be a mass murderer, serial killer. So this is breaking. So really all the information is kind of coming out these past 2 days. This is an Indonesian. That case in Jeju is so scary, isn't it? Because now speculation about human trafficking is starting to emerge. They say an Indonesian person had once commented on IG saying that a human trafficking case was happening on Jeju. Uh-oh. Epstein. This Indonesian person said they had already reported to the media and immigration office, but since they didn't know how to or who to contact from abroad to report the case, they ended up asking for help through IG comments. So someone could guide them or connect them with Jeju, say Gwipo police. So apparently it had already reported to Jeju immigration, the Indonesian embassy in Korea, and the Indonesian police. Meanwhile, to KBS, they sent various pieces of evidence. They mentioned there's a party in Indonesia recruiting people and sending them to Jeju for around 7 million won per person. After arriving, some apply for asylum or work illegally, and there are even those who pay 900,000 won to get a Jeju address used in their asylum applications. This person also claims to have reported the case to the institution handling of human trafficking and the police in Indonesia. However, they were told that since this case involves cross-border elements, the part happening in Korea requires cooperation from Korean law enforcement. Oh shit, guys. Could be. Okay, so I'll keep on that and see if anything more comes of it. Interesting stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a larger cover-up, because this guy just being lazy, and there just so happens to be a serial killer on the loose who's killing, like, what, 2 people a month? No, it's gotta be more. Like 10? I don't know. That's a lot. So, who knows? I will move on to the GTA leak. Leak. This was brought to my attention from somebody in the Discord, a follower, a viewer. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I have been dismissing the GTA stuff because, oh gosh, I have to be careful about showing footage. Because, I just thought it was whatever. But apparently there's a much larger story here in which this guy, known as LEEK, L-E-E-K, actually managed to hack Takes-Two and Rockstar in order to leak the entire game, apparently, along with lots of footage. It's pretty popular in the gaming sphere right now for this stuff. To be honest, I like GTA games. I've played almost all of them. I love GTA 5. It's a lot of fun. There's not that many single-player games that I can, sit down, really turn off my brain, kind of escape the world and get into. Is very few. GTA 5 was just one of them for whatever reason. However, it's funny to me that people get excited over the GTA leaks because GTA has just been GTA. It's always been the exact same thing from the first game to GTA 5. Obviously, there's a lot more you can do within it, but for the most part, the only truly impressive part about GTA games is the graphics. And the graphics for this game look good. So, even with the leaks, it's like, I can play maybe some of it, guys. I think GTA is kind of copyright striking a lot of these, so I'm just gonna leave the still images up. And I mean this has horrible quality for a video, but I mean you can see it looks good. I saw a video of this tornado thing, which if this is real, I mean this looks super sick. I mean it looks awesome. I want it to be real. But yeah, so apparently there, I don't know. I kind of think this whole thing might be I don't want to call it a psyop, but a propaganda. Sorry, the thing where they try to create hype. But I could be wrong. So apparently this guy LEEK, he manages to hack somebody's account, somebody who works for Rockstar in creating GTA. Apparently in India, as far as I can gather. And starts leaking this stuff. But yeah, let's read some of it. CyberLeak, also referred to as Leak or CyberLeaks, is the anonymous individual or group behind a major wave of apparent Grand Theft Auto GTA 6 gameplay leaks that began around August 18th. This is one of the biggest GTA leak incidents since the 2022 network breach. The material consists primarily of short gameplay clips focused on the male protagonist, Jason Duval, in the state of Leonida, the Florida-inspired setting. Oh, that's pretty funny. I didn't know they were calling it Leonida and not Florida. With Vice City as the main urban area, plus map images. Rockstar and parent company Take-Two. You guys want to know something funny? So I think it's the CEO of Take-Two or the founder. He's actually in the files. And if you guys remember the secret cult society run by Peter Thiel or whatever, that guy was invited to it. And when I was reading it out loud, it had everyone's names and then what company they were associated with. And I read his name and Take-Two, and I didn't know Take-Two was the parent company of Rockstar. And I was just like, I can't remember what I said, but I thought it was involving something else. And so now when I see it, I think it's so funny that the CEO or owner of Take-Two and G2A is in on the whole culty Epstein, Peter Thiel island shit. I might have to add him to the list of people to look into, but I thought that was so funny. Company Take-Two have not issued an official public confirmation or statement, but rapid DMCA takedowns and legal action strongly indicate the footage is genuine, likely from a development build, possibly from 2024 to 2025, rather than an absolute latest. Yeah. So I think I need to be way more careful about sharing the images. It's possibly I've already messed up, but I really haven't shown that much. CyberLeak framed the leaks as a protest for gamers' rights. Their manifesto included commandments against digital pre-orders, fake single-player DLC. There's a lot of paid extras in this game that I'm not a fan of. Like, apparently the nude content will be, jiggle effects you can only get through paid, like, DLC or whatever, which, I don't know, it's kind of dumb, man. And, like, there's a bunch of other stuff. Lack of guaranteed offline single-player access or physical disc ownership. GTA6 physical edition reportedly ships as a case with a download code. They warned other publishers that if CyberLeak can reach Rockstar, no one is safe, and said they would continue until Rockstar Take-Two issued a public apology and concrete commitments. Clips often include watermarks or promotions for a related Solana meme coin. Oh, God. I'm not advertising it. Which has fueled skepticism about pure activism motives. Yeah, I mean, come on. He's probably just a bored hacker and wanted to stick it to the man, which, hey. Impersonator accounts have also appeared. Yes. So if you want to go and look up the footage, it's there. I'm looking at it now. Again, I don't know. I'm not going to play the footage so I don't get in too much trouble. But some of the map is leaked. Some of the gameplay mechanics. But really, there's not that much that has been leaked. And so that's kind of why I think this is a sort of hype ploy or PR ploy for the game. Could be wrong. Apparently, there's a nudist colony. In a plane flight clip, Jason shoots the word leak into a wall. Okay. More footage shows only Jason. Lucy has been largely or entirely absent. Clips are often low resolution or short and emphasize sandbox chaos over story spoilers, which is why, again, I think this is more of a ploy. Take-Two has pursued aggressive DMCA takedowns across platforms and filed federal subpoenas targeting Microsoft, Discord, GitHub, OneDrive, Xbox, and later X and Google for account records, IPs, devices, and identifying info related to CyberLeak and associated server users' compliance deadlines around early September 2026. Here's the thing, and it just popped back into my brain. Take-Two has demanded Discord hand over those IPs for people who were sending this information. And Discord, I believe, has given over like 2,000 people's information to Take-Two. And Discord is they're not scared about invasion of privacy. They're pretty bad. But yeah, CyberLeak's website and Telegram have faced takedowns or gone offline at points, but materials continue circulating via other channels, with reports of further clips into late August. The official Netflix extended look around August 27th. The game's console release window is not officially altered. Take-Two stock saw temporary dips. That's so funny. Okay, so I thought the entire game was leaked. I guess not. Did Discord comply? As far as I know, Discord handed over the information, which is pretty effed up. Yeah, people are pretty excited over this stuff. Here's a person. What do you think? New GTA gameplay. And this person believes that it's GTA who's also leaking it, which, I mean, I think so. Okay, so maybe Discord hasn't handed that information over yet. I'd read that they did, but this is saying it didn't. I'll have to double check. We'll see. My take on it is that I just think it's a marketing ploy, which is clever. People are pretty excited for this game. Gamers know for sure. Gamers understand, but I don't think most people kind of get how into GTA people have been for the dawn of those games. Apparently, the Pentagon and the military are allowing people to take like a set of consecutive days off for to play the game. Founding fathers believe people should not elect U.S. senators. Is that true? How else would they get elected? Sorry, Thomas Massey just quoted this. Huh. Anyways, all right, moving on to a little bit of more, serious stuff. Let's talk about something smaller first before I move into this next topic. So, I was following a story today where a suspicious big military plane landed in Russia, American. People were trying to figure out why. Typically, these planes were used for prisoner swaps, but there were no official releases. So people did their digging, and it turned out it was the CIA director, Ratcliffe. And apparently he met with some Russian officials, and then he left quite quickly. And it's causing quite the stir. Some people are comparing it to the same events that happened right before the Russian invasion of Ukraine, where the CIA director went and said something to him and then left. So people are thinking Russia was planning on maybe attacking NATO territory or testing the resolve or something. I have also seen a rumor that he was simply warning him that they would face even more sanctions for helping Iran. Don't know, but the visit was short-lived. I don't think he met with Putin directly, but he was there for sure. Again, typically those planes are used for prisoner swaps, but who knows? China has also come out and said that they will not pay attention to the sanctions that the U.S. announced yesterday. So that's kind of that's all I have so far. It's only been 24 hours. People kind of figure it out. I think a lot of countries still aren't taking the U.S. seriously when it comes to these things, which I guess they'll just learn their lesson. I can't remember what the timeline is. It's September 7th, I think, for those sanctions to go into place. Or maybe it's at the start of next year. I can't remember which. But I don't think the U.S. is fucking around. I think it should be taken seriously. I will see what happens. And right now they're reporting a pizza traffic spike near the Pentagon. If you don't know this one, it's always so funny. But people for quite a while track the amount of pizza orders to the nearest, the pizza places to the nearest, the Pentagon. Pizza places nearest to the Pentagon. Whenever there's a spike in traffic there, they say it's a increase in activity at the Pentagon, which usually indicates something. And the Pentagon knows this, and they've kind of fucked around on purpose with people just to mess with the news. But they're currently reporting a pizza traffic spike right now. So this is all kind of, consecutive in terms of what's happening. But again, who knows? Could be nothing. Could be a nothing burger. Could be something. I do think the sanctions are a lot more serious than people are giving them credit for. I still think a lot of it has to do with China and cutting them off from the main systems. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if those sanctions hit quite a few countries. All right, we're going to follow up on that story yesterday I was talking about with the child predator group. I looked up their name. They're called the 764 they're just called 764, but 764 networking. And it started in Texas, or allegedly started in Texas. And yeah, it became an international sort of digital trafficking network, I guess what I would call it. And basically what they would do is these nasty bastards, bro. They would go on Roblox or kid games, whatever, kind of befriend the kids, groom them, and then get them to do nasty shit, and then blackmail them. And pretty much almost always it led to self-harm of the child, and then they would sell that online or leak it and share it. It's pretty psychopathic, crazy shit. I had seen the original port pretty early on. I don't know why, but it seemed like they were trying to cover it up. A lot of this takes place through Discord again. But just 5 days ago, apparently they caught one of the main guys, a Tennessee man identified by federal authorities as a member of the extremist network 764, was sentenced to 77 years in prison. Federal officials said on August 19th. Why? Just hang him. I mean, come on. Capital punishment. He's just sitting there and he's torturing children. Why? What person on this planet thinks we should sit here and subsidize these people and pay for them to live any sort of life? He's sitting there and he's torturing children. I mean, I struggle with this stuff, man. I really do. I struggle with why any of us should be paying taxes and then that money should go to these people. Why should we feed him? Why should we house him? Why should we protect him? There's plenty of immigrants here who are suffering worse fates who are more valuable than this guy. There's plenty of grandmas. There's plenty of sick people. There's plenty of children who need that money more than this guy. How much money do you guys think is spent on this guy? How much money would be spent taking care of a prisoner for 77 years? Listen, I don't, AI is terribly inaccurate, but for the sake of the argument, let's just look this up real quick. Because I think this money could, go elsewhere. And just wait until I start reading what he did. This is a sick group, guys. Roughly 1.5 to 10 plus million in the US, mostly commonly in the 2 to 5 million range, depending on the jurisdiction and assumptions. Why? Just give him the guillotine and call it a day. Honest to God. What's the purpose of this? Sorry, capital punishment I know is sometimes divisive. But what's the value here? Is it rehabilitation? I don't think this guy's gonna come around. And I don't really think he should ever be trusted enough to be let back out. Is it just to say we're better than him? Stupid. I would say we're worse. If we're sitting here and we're keeping him alive, when this money could go to anything else. Take that money and put it into stock that grows so that children, when they reach a certain age, can pull it out. Trump accounts. I don't care. What a waste of US dollars. And what a waste of life and space and oxygen. Kyle William Spitz, 27, was sentenced for the production of CSAM, abetting the distribution of animal crushing videos, and possessing and accessing with the intent to view CP. The Department of Justice said in a statement. Spitz was also sentenced to lifetime supervised release. What? Must register with state sex offender registries and will have to comply with sex offender conditions. What do you mean he was released? Are you fucking kidding me? Lifetime supervised release? No way he gets released, bro. He's torturing children and he got released. Are you kidding? Some kind of weird joke? I'm going to read the full story. I'm so annoyed. Spitz was also sentenced to lifetime supervised release. Oh my god. FBI Director Kash Patel on August 20th hailed the sentencing in a post on X, saying that targeting the 764 online group is a major priority for federal law. Dude, drone strike these people. Drone strike these people. This sends a clear message. If you prey on children, it sends a clear message that if you prey on children, you'll just get released and you can live your life as long as you don't commit any other crime. This FBI and our DOJ partners will find and hold you accountable. Kinda, sorta. We'll make you stop doing the no-nos. Attorney General Todd Blanche said that the sentence marks a step toward justice for the families and children harmed by 764, which has been described by the FBI as a violent online group made of individuals who seek to coerce and manipulate children into engaging in unspeakable acts against themselves. It's like, animals and other children. Drone strike these guys, bro. The FBI says the group operates on social media, gaming apps, online platforms, building trust with their victims before coercing them into sharing personal information and explicit pictures and videos. They're children. They're babies, guys. What are we doing? Those videos and photos are then used by members to blackmail the victims. Yeah. Why are we letting this person live? U.S. Assistant Attorney General for National Security John A. Eisenberg said on August 19th that Spitz is considered an original member of 764 and a related group, Harm Nation, who is committed to bringing about the downfall of society through terrorism, specifically by targeting children. They're psychopaths. Nuke them and other vulnerable people and exhorting them to engage in criminal conduct, self-harm, mass casualty events. Spitz, he added, received the longest federal sentence ever imposed on a nihilistic, violent extremist that will send a message that civil society will not tolerate such depravity. What, guys? What is it? Just me, or is like harm against children should just be the worst crime? Is it just me? I mean, they're comparing terrorism to like harming and targeting and exploiting children. To me, that's just worse than terrorism. Am I wrong? I don't understand. Am I the one with the wrong worldview? Following a December 2023 investigation, Spitz was identified as a member of Harm Nation. Was found to have hosted a social media channel where he uploaded CSAM and images of animal mutilation. One minor victim later admitted to the FBI that she was threatened by Spitz to produce the images for him to upload on a separate social media channel. The 764 network was created in 2021 by then 15-year-old Texas resident Bradley Cadenhead, who said that the group was helped in its founding by a friend that he met through the Minecraft game. Wow. According to the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, Cadenhead was arrested in 2021 and is currently serving an 80-year prison sentence. Another person who's being funded on tax dollars for promotion of CP. This year, several FBI offices sent open letters to parents warning of an increase in 764 related activity across the U.S. and advising them to monitor their children's online activity and who they might be communicating with. Yeah. Parents are also encouraged by the Bureau to exercise discretion when posting videos, photos, and other material about their children. Yeah, dude. I see parents post things that I'm just like, why would you do, like, your account's not private. Why would you do that? I mean, listen. Again, so sometime this week, I want to go over the Patriot Act. I was just looking through it. Holy shit, guys, it is so long. It's 120 pages. It's actually not that long, but it consists of a lot of stuff. I really want to go over the Patriot Act. And I just don't understand how we can spy on Tucker Carlson visiting another country. And that's through, all of the top secure apps, blah, 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 blah. We can spy on all these people leaking these Epstein stories and whistleblowers and blah, blah, blah. We can find all these people within an instant. And yet, for some reason, it is incredibly hard for them to go and find these kid harming groups. Listen, first thing I would do is tear up the Patriot Act. And then I would just tell the CIA and FBI, I don't care, bro. Drone strike these child predators. Drone strike them. Nothing matters more than to just take these predators off the planet, guys. The amount of sympathy we show for so many people doesn't make any sense to me, but to these people in general, I think is incredible. We're going to sit there and take care of this person for 100 years. Sorry, guys. I know some people don't like hearing this stuff. It's just that way I feel. Just want to be in a civil society where privacy is cared about. And the only people's privacy we're really invading are the ones that I don't care about, which are these predators. The 764 network is supposed to be a really big deal. I need to do some research into it. If you have any resources, please share in replies. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. A satanic child grooming cult. I don't really know what's going on. There seems to be people arguing about whether or not it's a terrorist organization or it's a grooming cult, which I kind of agree. I don't really see why it matters. I would argue that the targeting of children is what matters more, but really what might be going on And I think it has to do with the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act pretty much says that, again, we'll go into this in more detail, maybe tomorrow or the next day. I don't know which. The Patriot Act pretty much says that if there's, quote, terrorism going on, the U.S. can just do whatever it wants. It can invade your rights. Now, terrorism is a very, well, it started as a very defined term, but it's lately become quite a loose term. They're currently calling people who break flock cameras terrorists, right? They call people who were protesting COVID vaccines terrorists. They, again and again, the word terrorist is now being thrown around all over the place because it pretty much gives the US government permission to invade your privacy rights. That might be what's going on here, which, to be honest with you, no sympathy for me, where they are labeling this child grooming cult as terrorists because it gives them the right to invade their privacy, which I'm not going to lie. Listen, I'm big on the amendment. I'm big on the our rights and our protection. I don't care. I don't care if they invade these people's rights. I really don't care. I don't care if the CIA or FBI came out and was like, yeah, we were spying on everybody, and the only real people we're targeting are these child predators, and we don't care. We don't care about their rights. We don't care. We don't care. We're taking them off the board. I personally, if that was the only thing they were doing, I wouldn't even blink an eye at it. I really wouldn't. I might be wrong in saying that. I might be wrong in believing it. I might be wrong in it. I do know what that eventually turns into. But I wouldn't even blink an eye. I really wouldn't, guys. I'm sorry. It's just sad. I've got so many younger siblings. To me, it's what I think about when it comes to this stuff. Is I have so many younger siblings. And I'm just like, can we just live in a society where children are protected? Like, is that really too bad? Like, what is so hard here? So the people are kind of arguing whether or not it's a trans organization or it's a terrorist organization or if it's just a child grooming organization. Again, who gives a fuck? They're targeting children. They're forcing children to do awful things. Who cares? Most prolific member of online extremist network 764. Have they really only caught 2 people, though? Surely they've caught more people than just 2. Let me look this up. How many people have been caught from the 764 network? Hopefully it's more than 2, especially if it's been around since 2021. Because if it's only been 2 since 2021, that's disgusting. So much for all the mass surveillance that they use. Let me see. Yeah, I really don't see anything else on it.
That's social media buzz. That's why they're covering it, because there's PR behind it. They want to go and get the low-hanging wins for social media. I had a buddy.
Look, I'll say this. I know you've had some people I know about. All I know is I know people in like elementary, middle schools. These kids are on these video games. Those groups are out there targeting kids.
Is this person arguing that it's not happening?
That's social media buzz. That's why they're covering it, because there's PR behind it. They want to go and get the low-hanging wins for social media. I had a buddy.
Look, I'll say this. I know you've had some people I know about. All I know is I know people in like elementary, middle schools. These kids are on these video games. Those groups are out there targeting kids.
For sure. There's no question. There's been people doing that for 20 years. It's called sexploitation. That's social.
What is this guy arguing? Again, there's this weird like priority difference in priorities that I majorly see between people. And I think the Epstein files is like kind of what brought it to my attention, where it was sort of like you had 2 different types of people who were interested. The people who cared about the exploitation of children, and the people who kind of cared that, there was a secret network that was piloting our politicians and the, who's were at the top. And, when 2 people carry this, same interest and goal, they can be allies, sure. But I always looked at the other people who cared more about who was at the top controlling it, and less about the exploitation. And I always thought that those guys were wrong. I guess, and mostly in caring. Look, they're an ally because we need all the interest we can get. But I don't know, man. Children, I can protect them. Crazy. So I saw that the network also carried into South Africa, which I thought was interesting. There is no single exact public total as the 764 network is a loosely organized and decentralized online group, part of a broader ecosystem called the COM. Investigations are ongoing across many countries, and official figures focus more on active probes and a cumulative caught count. The FBI in the United States has investigated more than 350 subjects tied to 764, with some later references noting even higher numbers of probes. As of late December 2025, researchers tracking public cases reported 33 individuals publicly charged in the U.S. associated with 764, and precursor groups such as CVLT and Greggy's Cult. Bro, there's so many of these fucking groups, including about 22 specifically linked to 764. Notable U.S. examples: arrests of two alleged leaders, Prasan Nepal in North Carolina and Leonidas Veragianis in Greece. The sentencing of Kyle William Spitz in August 2026, and various other members charged or pleading guilty on CSAM. International: at least 300 arrests linked to the COM network, which includes 764 and related groups, across 33 countries. Europe's Project Compass reported 30 arrests. The answer to my question is because they knew if they ran to the top of these groups, they would find politicians and rich people, and that's why they don't invade the privacy of these people and really go for them and just take the low-hanging fruit, as that guy was saying earlier. Arrests have occurred on all inhabited continents, including recent cases such as 16-year-old in South Africa, also in August. Yeah, anyways, my main point was, I know, I speak aggressively, crass, I use a lot of bad words, and that kind of turns some people off to it. But parents, for the love of God, you need to know this stuff exists, because really, these people are all over the place. When they mean by network, it's just, this person knows a person, knows a person, knows a person. And me and my ex-co-host, we were going to do a segment where we exposed some of these pedo groups on VR chat. Most of you probably know what VR chat is, but if you don't, it's like maybe the teen version of Roblox, I would call it. Although there's kids on there too. That people can go in, create their own little worlds. People can go and access these worlds. They add friends, blah, 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 blah. So we were going to do a segment where we went on VR chat and exposed some pedos. And I shit you not, within 15 minutes, we pretty much saw some grown-ass adult trying to groom some fucking 14 or 13-year-old. Like, I shit you not. It is so prevalent on both Roblox and VR chat. It takes you less than an hour to witness it. No time at all. And so for me, I'm always surprised that police have like a hard time at all finding these people, because they're just everywhere. It would take me less than an hour to fucking get into these groups and expose them. There's this guy, he's known for like trolling people on VR chat, proximity chat. I mean, there's quite a few of them. And quite a few times have they brushed up against pedos, like open pedos on VR chat. And I don't just mean like they just are like talking about it. I mean, they literally expose themselves and said they're trying to get a child to move in with them. Like, it's not hidden. And these channels, they thrive more off the trolling than they do exposing. And so they kind of cut back on the exposing because that stuff gets demonetized on YouTube. And instead they just focus on the trolling. But it is only ever one step away. I really, really would love to get in contact with them and have them come on to this platform, because, we talk about it. We're not really shy away from it. But I know those guys are a trove of stories of pedos. I know it, because again, 15 minutes on there and you'll see how common it is. And again, for parents, it's for you guys. Like, you need to know how easy it is for these predators to get access. They're on every video game. They're on every social network. I just kind of avoid people. So for me, I'm just like, I stay away from that shit. But like, dude, it's because it's so prevalent that I honestly cannot be bothered. Parents should know. You guys should know, because again, your kids, this is how they interact with the world. These predators are everywhere. Case update on FBI Nashville 764 extremist group member sentenced for production of CP and distribution of animal crushing videos. Kyle Spitz. Yeah. I previously posted that my older brother connected to Epstein network committing some crimes involving 764. Woman X, who had just worked to get some 76 members arrested, was livid that I was trying to associate Epstein with 764 because according to her, they had nothing to do with each other. She's wrong. And you will find that there is a dotted line through the CSAM production and distribution part of their operation that were the FBI Nashville not caught flat-footed would directly lead to my older brother and Epstein pedo fetish network. I had to watch them in person. Bro, who is this guy? What is going on here? I had to watch them in person torture someone who had clearly been getting tortured before I was brought to the building. This person was tortured and drugged with hallucinogens. They were told the torture would not stop. What in the hell? The same threat was made to me. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that too. I don't know what's going on there, guys. Oh, this is probably someone who... Yeah, okay. They claim that they were also a victim. That's why. Well, here's the thing. Again, these people all know each other. You know, there are only a few people out. They all have the same interests, like they're all playing the same video game. And so they're only 1 or 2 steps away from each other. And so these images get passed around, these videos get passed around. And so while these groups may not be directly linked together, you know, one person travels around from group to group. They share between their friends. It's a network. It's a network of people who all talk to each other. They share this shit. They perpetrate it. They push it around. It's disgusting. It's not hard to find it, but yeah, the reason that it never gets fully explored because they know that if they go up the line, they'll hit, you know, higher ups, presidents, politicians, police, the usual. We saw this a lot when it comes to Chris Hansen. Every time he goes and goes and goes, he ends up exposing a mayor, a politician, somebody from a certain foreign country. Wink, wink. Like, it just that's why it never gets fully pushed. Oh, what the hell is this? It's a picture? Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, just be aware. This is one of the cases. This is how the 764 terror group exploits kids. 764 group members target kids online and gain their trust through gaming platforms like Roblox and messaging systems like Discord and Telegram. Build trust with minors, so grooming. Encourage secrecy and isolation. Moving conversations to private platforms like Telegram. Promising virtual rewards. Using threats and coercion. The abusers gain the trust of the victim by pretending to be their friend. According to the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, in some cases, the victims believe they're in a romantic relationship with the abuser. Dude, I'm telling you, this shit on VR chat, I don't ever see anyone talk about it happening on VR chat, which is why I want to keep talking about it. But it happens so often on there, or even groomed to become predators themselves. The abusers will then typically request sensitive videos or images, which then, oh, you know what? I just saw somebody getting arrested for this exact thing. Where trying to remember. They were a child predator, and I don't know, whatever. The abusers will then typically request sensitive videos or images, which they then use to blackmail the victims. Yeah, and it can be. I'm gonna give an example. It's really gross, but this video I was watching of this guy getting arrested. He groomed the little girl, and then, you know, asked her about siblings. This is their steps. They groom the child, and it doesn't even take grooming, right? They're children, but they'll just be like, "Oh, do you have siblings?" Like, "Yeah, I have a younger whatever," and they'll say something like, "Well, prove it," you know. And so they get of course, a picture of the baby, and then they just start like threatening the poor child. The abusers will then typically request sensitive videos or images, right? Which they then use as blackmail. This leads to a pattern of child abuse in which the victims are abused or even, harassed. Abusers also share tips and advice to each other. Yeah, they do that too. I've seen examples of that. Not in person, but in the in those cop videos. These crimes that involve harming our children by going after them online, causing self-mutilation. Yeah, self-unalive and abuse. Very common. Very stupidly common. The crazy part is this. Many of those facing abuse allegations are men or boys aged 25 or younger. That's kind of the worst part. Because, again, these are platforms that they're sharing with these children. And these younger people are, like, full-on taking advantage of it. 764 group members have different motivations. Many of the members commit abuse for social status or entertainment. Like, what? Others are believed to be motivated by nihilism, with many group members expressing a hatred of established society. What's this? I don't understand this trend of I hate society, so let's hurt children. Like, what? I don't really. My philosophy is this: evil people are going to do evil things for any reason, and good people will do good things for any reason. It's retarded that, like, anyone thinks they need. Oh, they're doing it because they hate society. No, they don't. They would be doing it no matter what. They do it no matter what. They don't care. Some people are just born that way. It is what it is. Unlike traditional extremist groups with clear political or religious agendas, NVE members advocate for destruction across the world by glorifying mass killers, promoting animal cruelty. Like, how does that make sense? Animal cruelty leads to destruction of the world, and urging self-harm leads to the destruction of the world. I mean, like, come on. Doesn't even make sense. They're just evil people. Drone strike them. 764 group members may also express extremist beliefs, those tied to Satanism, neo-Nazism, and military accelerationism, which seek to end democratic societies through deception. Whatever. It literally doesn't make any sense. Victims have interacted with 764 members on Call of Duty, Discord, Facebook, Minecraft, Roblox, Snapchat, Telegram, and Twitter. There's no reason for a kid to be on Twitter, bro. There's zero reason for a kid to be on Twitter. Anyone younger than 18 to be on Twitter. And Telegram, to be honest. Telegram, like, is, like, somewhat used for people outside the country, the US. Fine. But why? What could a kid possibly be using Twitter for? Twitter's, like, news and adult social commentary. What the fuck is a kid doing on Twitter? I don't even understand why kids are on Facebook at this point. I literally witnessed the grooming process a couple of times, and I didn't see it for what it was. I didn't realize there was this kind of monster seeping insidiousness into our lives that was in the room with me when I was talking to my kid. I don't know what that means. Nearly 150 Roblox lawsuits have been filed to date by families whose kids meet predators on platform. Discord has also come under scrutiny. Discord is particularly bad just because they very clearly know what's going on, and they just, like, I don't understand what's going on there. They monitor everything. They sell your data. I can't type anything in Discord without getting an ad for it immediately. They clearly know what's going on. And yet they don't do anything to stop this shit. The group actually started as a Discord server in 2021 per The Guardian. Discord has cracked down on 764 by filing hundreds of reports with the law and removing over 34,000 accounts believed to be linked. Still, some believe more must be done. Yeah, drone strike them. Listen, I'm okay. Like, it's not good. It's not good. I hate all the invasion of rights. It's terrible. I hate all the censorship over nonsense. Just, if you were using it to hurt these people permanently, I would care so much less. I wouldn't care at all. I wouldn't give a fuck, dude. Leave me alone. Leave normal people alone and just take these people out, bro. Other groups associated with 764, 1414, 764 Inferno, 884, CVLT. The community, also known as COM or COM, No Lives Matter, and Terrorgram. Jesus, guys. Fucking hell. The FBI also notes that there are many subsets or splinter groups. Yep. In some cases, independent groups with similar ideologies adopt the name 764 due to the notoriety. Anyways, this site, I'll share this for parents, is called hercasematters.com. I'm going to assume they have more information on this stuff. But my goal here is just to, like, get parents kind of like, hey, go and, like, ask your kid if they have a Discord. Maybe look at some of those messages. Like, if your kid has Telegram or Twitter, that's kind of weird. You should look into that. Honest to God, like, you know, I don't blame parents. Like, you can't. Even I'm like only 30, and I can't keep up with this shit, bro. I didn't even know what Telegram was until like 3 or 4 years ago. I have no idea. Again, I'm not really big on social media. It's funny I had the show, and it's like, you know, the most amount of time I spend on social media has to do with the show. But like as parents, I can't imagine trying to work a full-time job, you know, keep up with all the extra stuff and monitor what your kid's doing all the time. Because again, this stuff even just happens through video games too. But I don't know. You should mainly the messaging platforms like Discord, Telegram, and Twitter. I think are the big ones that like, parents should pay attention to. I don't know, bros and ladies. Take a peek. Take a peek, man. So I'm telling you, they're fucking everywhere. They're literally everywhere. Again, less than 15 minutes in VR chat, immediately saw nasty shit. Like, it takes zero time at all. All right, let's see if I have anything else. What happened here? Why did my keyboard lights turn off? No, that wasn't what I was looking for at all. Yeah, that would be my... Pretty sure that was just my stream key that I just posted. Subaru unveils next generation unmanned fighter concept A3E100. Yeah, this is kind of tying into the news from yesterday and sort of the World War III growing news, but let's see if I can make it bigger. I mean, this looks like one of those AI companion drones that we've seen. And so I was kind of piecing something together. Subaru, I believe, has announced they're going to stop making one of their more popular cars. I can't remember which one it was. And funny enough, Tesla also announced that they were going to stop making one of their cars. And on top of that, a couple of German car companies have announced they're going to stop making certain cars. And instead, they're moving towards manufacturing drones and robots. So, more or less, I just kind of want to point out the fact that quite a few car manufacturing companies are returning to their good old days of making fighter jets and tanks and robots being new. But man, this thing looks really sick. It looks really similar to the NGAD program here in the US. This is supposed to be a Gripen companion, which I think is the French fighter jet. Might be wrong. Swedish? I think it's French. And it looks sick. But yeah, quite a few major companies here are swapping back to making weapons of mass destruction. I wonder why. A new book has uncovered that CIA funding kept Steve Jobs' next alive. After 2 officers turned up at its offices in 1986, one asked Jobs for 20,000 workstations a year. The NSA named as the official buyer to conceal the agency. Former officials said unmarked trucks ran the machines to a front company for chip swaps, then on to NRO analysts reading satellite imagery. Next step later became the base of macOS and iOS. I thought this was interesting because I was told that Apple was in part funded by Microsoft back when Microsoft had a huge monopoly in the market. And all of a sudden, the CIA was also kind of supporting them. On top of that, Japan had their own operating software they were trying to push. But the United States killed it as fast as possible. We live in much less of a free market than you'd think, boys. You'd be surprised at how often certain companies are created straight from the CIA. There's also some weird stuff when it comes to Bill Gates. And apparently he has like top secret security clearance for some reason. I can't remember. I just misspelled clearance. But yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. Update on Bill Gates' Q clearance story. Department of Energy's own letter says it was reciprocally granted, meaning DOE never vetted him. Someone else already had. I found the most specific lead yet on who, and the timing is almost too clean. So this guy's been investigating it, trying to figure out who gave Bill Gates Q clearance, which I don't even know what it is. This is a really old report. This is from the Department of Homeland Security and Government Affairs. Across nearly 20 years, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation built a relationship with the federal government that ran on personal access. Newly released emails show the country's most senior public health officials treating one of the world's richest men as a colleague and collaborate. Yeah, why Bill Gates needs to have close involvement with our health industry, I don't know. A DOE Q security clearance permits access to top secret restricted data of the U.S. government. Oh. Bill Gates held a Department of Energy Q security clearance for 7 years, spanning the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that wasn't even old. That's like slightly newer. Anthony Fauci served as Bill Gates' private editor with the help of David Morans. Holy shit. I hadn't vetted this story before. I'm sharing it to you guys. This is kind of crazy. In April 2020, Gates requested Fauci's feedback on a memo titled Pandemic 1, the First Modern Pandemic, which set out how Gates was thinking about the COVID pandemic. And when was that? That was in 2020. In January 2020, Gates asked Fauci to edit his book, How to Prevent the Next Pandemic, before it was sent to the publisher. Fauci returned, tracked changes, then wrote, I gave the manuscript in close confidence to a trusted colleague who destroyed it after reading it. His name is Dr. David Moritz. Holy fuck, guys. When the NIH director urgently asked what his agency's ties to the Gates Foundation were, the answer came back that the foundation had been funding pieces of NIH. No shit. It's a circle jerk of money, guys. That's what it is. It's a fucking circle jerk of money. I give money to you, you give money to me. Let's cause a pandemic. Make money for the big pharma. They kick us back some money. Big circle of money that we're not allowed to get involved in. Gross. And again, what's most interesting is that Bill Gates had messaged Epstein about a pandemic scenario long before COVID. DARPA gave the Gates Foundation a private briefing on 4 military biological threat programs. On May 3rd, why? Like, what? DARPA's Biological Technologies Office convened a 90-minute session at agency headquarters for the Foundation's Bioinnovation Accelerator, covering intercept, preempt, friend or foe, and revector. Preempt's stated aim is targeting viruses in animals before they emerge in humans. Okay. Its project include bat samplings across 4 countries and transmissible Lassa vaccine with internal off switch, which the briefing lists for potential deployment in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and other Western African countries. Yeah, there you go. There's that fucking Bill Gates activity in Africa that we love to talk about. Collins told Melinda French Gates he had spent his tenure bringing NIH and the foundation closer together. On October 8th, 2021, days after announcing his resignation, Collins wrote, It had been a privilege to work with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation over these 12 years, and I'm glad to have had the chance to bring our global health efforts even closer together. Jesus, guys. Do you know how comfortable you have to be to propose causing a pandemic in the world to make a bunch of money? And then message the director of the NIH and to actually pull it off, get it done, and not get arrested? Jesus. Whew. God, the corruption runs so fucking deep. Man. That's crazy. I hadn't looked into that story all the way. But I can't say I'm surprised. Whew. Man. All right. What's this? China is officially moving its yuan onto a new gold standard. Chinese internationalizes the gold-backed yuan and payment system for the first time ever. Oh, interesting. We'll see how that stuff holds up. We'll see if that even passes, because I don't think it will, but we'll see. All right, that is it for today. Kind of just smaller stories I really wanted to piece together that I've been collecting. But hopefully you enjoyed. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Like I said, I'm like basically 24 hours off from getting monetized on YouTube, so that's awesome. Thank you guys. That's all thanks to you. And we made it just in time. At the start of next year, they're actually increasing the requirement, and I made it just in time. So love that. That's awesome. Congratulations to us. We did it, boys. Hopefully Spotify is next, but still pretty far out from getting monetized on Spotify. So it is what it is. Again, I hope you're having a great week. Hope you have a great week. We're about at the middle here, with tomorrow being a Wednesday. I still have the Epstein stuff I want to do. I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow or Thursday, but I do want to get and read the Patriot Act because I'm a nerd and I find that shit to be so fun. And it's to me, if there was one thing I could do if I was made president overnight, I would snap away this this bill immediately. But I'll talk more about that when I get to it later this week. Hope you have a fantastic evening, morning, night, afternoon, and I will see you guys tomorrow.